All right. And I want to thank you all for tuning into the Playbook. I'm here today with Andrew Jackson head coach Jeremy Smith. Coach, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, tough loss at home against Indialand this week, but you guys hung in there for pretty much the entire game. Talk about your message to the kids after the game.
Yeah, we've been, we know we have one of the tougher schedules. Probably, I wouldn't say in maybe all of 2A, but in 2A, we've got a pretty tough schedule, and we've played a 4A, 5A back to back. And our kids know going into it, we were going to have to fight, and we're just going to have to play really good, sound football and assignment and not have, missed assignments and things like that. But I was happy, especially defensively. I think the past 2 weeks we have really fought defensively, and there's some things here or there. We don't fill this gap, or we don't, drop to the right coverage, and we blow a couple plays here and there. But they've flown around, they've played hard. Offensively, we're getting better. We got better this game. I felt like we still got to establish. Our message was, for the whole team, everybody on offense was finished blocks, and so we just got to do a little bit better job of sustaining blocks. That's everybody, O-line, receivers, everybody. So we've gotten better, and I told them that. I was like, I told them, after last our week one opponent, hey man, we love it, right? We're proud of your fight. You're doing a good job. We just got to limit some mistakes, and we hope, we keep telling, we hope, this is going to prepare you for later on. This is going to help you later on down the road when we get to region. And but we're not looking at these games like we can't go out and, which I think our kids have done a good job of. They get disappointed because they really look at it like we can go out there and compete with these guys and compete with these schools. And they've kind of brought that mentality. And our job as coaches right now is just to make sure we keep them up, keep them making sure that they understand that, what kind of schedule they're playing. And we just got to continue to get better.
And offensively, I thought you guys moved the ball pretty well, minus a penalty here or a bad snap there, which puts you really far behind the chains. For the most part, you moved the ball well. Talk about your offense and what you liked from them.
Yeah, we've gotten, like I said, we just got to get better at a couple things here or there. For us, we feel like we have to be able to establish a running game. We did that at times. We were able to run the ball a little bit here and there. They were very good defensively, and we've seen that on film. And so we just, we got to be able to pass the ball consistently. I say it every week. We just got to make completions, right? And I think we were like 15 of 23 or something like that. And, we're getting a little bit better as we go with that. We know our playmakers are our receivers. We have some young running backs who are getting some time. They're doing a pretty decent job, but our playmakers are receivers. And so we keep figuring out ways to get them the ball and get them lined up in different ways. So I was happy with, there were some times that we moved the ball better. I think, like I said, we got better offensively from last week, which is a good sign, and we're going to continue to get better. But we just have to be able to make sure, we limit a lot of things as far as assignment mistakes and stuff like that.
And I know, minus except for a couple explosive plays, which I know as a coach you hate to see your defense give up explosive plays. But the defense, I felt like, played pretty good for the most part. You were able to stop the run there early on, and they kind of bent a little bit but didn't break. Talk about that defense and what you liked from them.
Yeah, again, they flew around, and we preach all the time, trying to get 11 hats to the ball, and trying to make sure we're pursuing at good angles. And we've had some players step up. Zach Hammond had a great game at linebacker. His first game, he's full-time starter, and so he led the team in tackles, and we knew it was coming. We were trying to slowly get him more playing time last week, and he played great. But we know that if we just got to be assignment sound. And when we're assignment sound, when we're getting to the right coverages and we're getting to the right gaps, and we're pursuing, we'll be pretty good. And so the biggest thing I've loved so far is our mentality. We haven't backed down from, they had some very good players Friday night on offense, and we didn't back down from it. And so if we keep that mentality, Defensively, we're going to continue to get better too. We just got to be a little bit more, like I said, assignment sound. Every play, be focused on what our job is for that play, and make sure we don't give up an explosive play. So
And your special teams was kind of a mixed bag. You had some really good. You got a block punt in there, and a couple blocked field goals, I believe, but also gave up a kick return. So it's not always like, oh, it was such a great the whole time, but you guys played pretty well there. Talk about your special teams.
yeah, one of the biggest things was we talk all the time, field position, and don't give up a touchdown. So we were minus on one of those, right before the half. That kind of breaks your back a little bit, going into the locker room of giving up a big return like that, and we just part of it too was we just didn't cover. We had guys there to make the tackle, and we just didn't break down to make the tackle on the kickoff return. But we design up, try to week to week, try to design up a punt block, and we work it all week, and so or some sort of punt return combination, and we did it. We were able to get the one. We blocked. We had two different guys block a extra point. And all it is if we can give effort on special teams, we talk about all the time. I need one play out of you, right? Think about it. Like I need one play. Almost everybody on our team plays special teams, and so if we just focus on give us one play, and if we can make it happen in this one play. So I was happy with that. We're able to do that, and Demise continues to punt very well. His average is almost I think in the 40s. I mean, he does a great job punting, and so Kurt Thomas he had two touchbacks. I mean, like I said, it can hurt you, but overall we were happy with stuff. We let one get away from us. Yeah,
And you spoke of Jemiah Seegers. He was our player of the game, and one of the reasons he was player of the game was his punting because he
yeah,
boomed some punts,
yeah.
but also with the interception return. Talk about him and maybe some of the other players that they're not just playing one way or two ways. Some of them are playing three ways, and that it makes for a long game.
Yeah, and we try to focus early on and start in January in the summer and preseason all the way through. Of these guys understand that we're going to ask some of y'all not to come off the field. Like Demise. Demise plays heavily both ways. Bryce Peterson does not come off the field for safety and receiver. We've got Nick Carter, a guard. He don't come off the field on D line. So we've got some guys here and there that, like I said, we try to involve the whole team on special teams as much as we can. So a lot of these guys are asked to do at least one special team, and so they don't come off the field. But we got a lot of guys going both ways, and we just have to understand that we just have to be conditioned to do it. And most of our guys we feel have gotten themselves in, and they will over the next couple of weeks. But most of them are in a good enough shape to give us what they need to give us on both sides.
And now talk about Andrews. You're on the road heading there. Talk about what you're expecting from them.
Yeah, number one, we've told our guys this week so far, don't let a 2-hour ride distract you. That can be a distraction sometimes. Let's handle that like a business trip and make sure we don't let a bus ride mess with the game. And so we've been preaching that this week. Andrews is a very good team. They're consistently second, third round of playoffs, at the top of their region, and they've got some very good athletes. They do a little things differently. They run some triple option out of the gun, and that's something always. Anytime you get option involved, it's just a little bit something different to prepare for that you don't normally see week to week. And so that's been our challenge to have good responsibilities this week on defense, and defensively they're like us. They play a lot of guys both ways, and that's something we hadn't really seen the last 2 weeks, but. They can make a lot of noise, and they can be very good if you don't tackle correctly and you're not in the right spot. So we've been preaching that this week with them. Again, I told our guys start on Monday. We're excited. I'm excited because now we get an opponent that we know is good in our league, and it sees where we're at. Where are we at right now and where we need to be going forward, because this is a team that, not that we may concede in the playoffs, but it's a team that is very consistently very good and competes in our league. So we just want to make sure we go down there and we've been kind of as coaches circling this one that we want to go down there and have a great game and so we hope that like I said, we handle all the outside the bus and we get down there and we have a quality game.
Well, if you guys are looking for something to do on Friday night, it's a short 2-hour drive down to Andrews. You can watch Andrew Jackson take on Andrews out there, and make sure you get out and support those teams. Coach, thanks for being on.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, and thanks for staying tuned to the Playbook. I'm here with Buford head coach Joe Watson. Coach, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Talk about the message to the guys in a really tight game. What did you say to them afterwards?
Biggest takeaway was penalties. We had 10 penalties on the night. They had 6. But those 10, and I told those guys before we got on the bus, I said those 10 came at the wrong time, every one of them. I mean, you're going to have some during the course of a game. Like I said, nobody's going to play a clean game. But the ones that we had were very, very costly for us. So, we got to clean that up, and, it become accountability Monday now. So we had a really good day yesterday. So, that was, hopefully we're getting back on the right track.
And talk about your offense. I know your offense outgained their offense, but we just couldn't quite get the points on the board. Tell me what you liked about the offense and what they still need to work on.
We got to get more consistent up front. We watched film yesterday, and I went in there with the big guys up front and just kind of went through some stuff with them with Coach Kane, who, again, does a great job. But we got to clean stuff up front. We got to catch footballs. We got to hit open receivers. We got to run the football harder. So, I mean, it's a combination of everything. It ain't just one group. But like I said, we had a really good day yesterday, I thought.
And the defense did a pretty good job, it seems like, in the game. They contributed to the points and held them pretty well. Talk about the defense and what you liked.
Well, I thought the defense played well. I think the defensive staff did a great job of making corrections and adjustments in the game and got us to where we were making good stops. You hold a team to 8 points and 128 yards of total offense, you're supposed to win a football game. And especially if the defense is scoring the touchdown for you. So, I was pleased with the adjustment, like I said, that the defensive staff made in game, and we didn't have to wait to halftime to get it figured out. So once that happened, we started playing better, and they gave us a chance to win. Problem is, we're not playing 11 on defense, and we can talk to the offense on the sideline. We're going to play the same, 8 or 9 on defense that we play on offense. So that was the biggest thing. But, like I said, I'm pleased with Coach Newton and the staff, Coach Plyler, Coach Bailey, and Coach Vespi. All those guys did a great job over there, man. The players played hard.
And talk about your special teams, how you felt they performed.
We were, if I can find it real quick, special teams averages were pretty good. I thought we took advantage of the stuff that they did. Punted really well. Christian had good average for us. I don't have it right here in front of me, but I thought the kicking game was good for us.
And talk about who scored the touchdown on the pick six. Talk about how that came up big, and maybe any other players that played better than you thought were going to play or are surprising you at this point in the season.
Well, I don't know about anybody surprising. Trevin Roberts had a good game defensively. Isaac Praken at linebacker had a really good game for us. I think both of them had over 15 tackles. So, we're in position to be where we need to be as far as that side. Defensively, with the pick six, Cole Carnes had the interception for a touchdown. And again, out of that 128 yards of total offense they had, one of it was passing yards. So we were, you're going to give up rushing yards. Let's don't be crazy about what we're thinking here and get it completely twisted. But like I said, defensively, I was pleased with the effort and how we handled it.
And I guess early in the season, when you're playing 8 or 9 guys on the same time, on the same side, being in shape and all those other things, it gets hard as the game wears on. What would you like to see more from them? What would you like to see them, I don't know, not do better, but like be able to last longer? How do you get that going?
We just got to keep conditioning. It's Ironman football, and it always has been at Buford. We just got to keep conditioning and get them in shape. And, we tell everybody you got 3 seasons to the actual season. You got the non-region, you got the region, and then you got the postseason playoffs. So, we're aiming to get there. And we got to hit stride by the time North Central rolls in here on the 27th of this month.
Well, at first you got McBee. You got 2 more non-region games. McBee coming up this week. Talk about McBee and what you're expecting from them.
Hard nosed. Coach is doing an awesome job at McBee, man. My hat's off to him. They're going to run the football. It's going to be a version of the wing T, not the old traditional thing that many fans from Buford are used to seeing. But like I said, they're going to come at you. They're going to be in a 6-man front, at least a 5-man front defensively, try to stop the run. But, I expect a good football game. If we take care of business, we'll be all right.
And that game is at McBee. If you're not doing anything on Friday night, 7:30, Buford Yellow Jackets are traveling to McBee. So get on out there and support your Yellow Jackets. Coach, thanks for being on.
Thanks, man. Appreciate what y'all do.
All right, and thanks for sticking around. I'm with Indianland head coach Adam Hastings. Coach, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Troy.
And you had a pretty good game at Andrew Jackson. I know it's tough to take your team on the road anywhere and play, really. And you guys did a great job, came out on top at Andrew Jackson. Talk about your message to your team after the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the tradition that Andrew Jackson has, it's just a great environment to play in. I think their coaching staff does a phenomenal job preparing their players, and they have really good players. They're big up front. They have skilled guys that play well, that play really hard. They're a team that they're going to make you work really hard to beat them, and their success in the last couple of years kind of predicates that. And so we knew going in the game that we were going to get their best shot. We knew it was a game that they were not going to look at us and go, well, they're a bigger school, or maybe the success they've had in the past also is going to tell them from giving their best. And so we knew we were going to get their best, and we sure did. A lot of credit to Jamie or Jeremy rather, and what he's doing there, and their staff and their players are just doing a phenomenal job. And I think it just shows the strength of this county, in the coaches and the players in this county, just how strong it is at every level, at every level, at every part of the county. So just a lot of credit to Coach Smith and his staff and their players, and just I think this is a real high point to the quality of player and coaches in our county and programs. You got to give a lot of credit to that community for the support they provide to Andrew Jackson and the environment they create. But for us, our message was, while we found a lot of ways to get in the hole, we found some ways to get out of the hole. And while there are a lot of negatives of the self-inflicted wounds, things that we can't do, things that against quality teams that we're going to face during the year, it's going to be hard for us to dig ourselves out of those situations. When you drive the ball to the inside the 10, the first 2 drives, and you don't get points, there's problems there. And and there were things that for us that were just self-inflicted penalties that we had to find a way to prevent. And some penalties are going to happen in the game. There's going to be some penalties that are going to happen in the course of the game that you're going to be okay with. You may not like it at the moment, but those penalties, maybe their effort involved, maybe they're tough to call one way or the other. And in every game there's going to be those penalties that you look back and go, well, that could have gone both ways. And I'm sure in the heat of the moment they saw one thing, and I think there was 2 touchdowns we had called back that when you're going back and look at it, we thought that probably could have gone either way, but it didn't. So I thought our guys did a good job of kind of dealing with that, handling kind of a swing of momentum there in the second quarter when they had a tip ball and they took an interception back for a touchdown, for us to come back and answer with a kickoff return for a touchdown by Vaughn, who's just had a phenomenal first 3 games. I think is somewhat to a testament to the quality of our players and the grit and determination that they have. And then come back in the second half and get a score right off the bat, or the second drive rather, and put together then a couple of good drives, some really good defensive stops. This speaks to again, just that determination that our team has. We have to play better in that middle third. Those 3 minutes before the half and 3 minutes after the half, and we got to be a better first quarter team. Our third and fourth quarter right now, we're outscoring opponents at just a crazy level. But our first quarter and middle third is not very good.
Yeah, talk about your offense again. I know there were some things you didn't like, but they obviously did a lot of good things. Talk about that and maybe some players that you thought really stepped up.
Yeah, for the first 2 weeks, we've kind of made sure that our freshman quarterback, Matt Casillas, had an opportunity to manage the games and not put too much on him. And this game was a lot different. We really wanted to open up with some of the things that they were doing. Really proud of his execution. He was 13 for 26 for 245 yards. Thought he did a great job of managing the game. Thought he did a great job of being patient and threw to some really good footballs and man coverage, which sometimes can be complicated throws. They're not wide open throws, so you have to anticipate where a guy's going to be open and where he expects the ball and the position of the ball based upon the leverage of the defender and the position of the field. And I thought he just threw some really good balls. And when we look at what Sequel Patterson did, having those 7 catches for 145 yards, Vaughn, who had the kickoff return for a touchdown, had 70 yards in receiving. I think that's just really just kind of shows that we have an explosive element to our offense. And then Bryson Connors had 2 touchdown passes this year. I had another one this game. So he's kind of playing really well at safety and doing really good in our passing game. So a lot of credit to those guys, because they did a lot to ease off the box a little bit. But, we want to be able to have the ability to run the ball when we need to. And Jamal Horton, junior running back, just did a phenomenal job, really taking the reins. We think he's a really explosive, smooth runner. Has had 2 really good games, but not really a breakout game yet. And we thought this was a breakout game opportunity for him. He kind of closed the door a little bit in the third quarter with a big touchdown, 80-yard touchdown run on a counter play out of a 2 tight end set for us. But he had 20 rushes for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just really proud of his tenacity with everything he's gone through. So I think offensively we had the guys that we got to lean on as playmakers did a really good job.
And I will say we named him the player, the Learn TV player of the game. We were at this game. I thought he obviously did a phenomenal job. But I also wanted to say, echoing Kusia, your quarterback, doesn't really look like a freshman out there. I've seen some freshman quarterbacks and some mistakes and things that they do, and he seems to handle himself pretty well.
Yeah, no, he absolutely does. I mean, I think he has a really good understanding of the game. He does some things that at times you forget that he is a freshman. So those are things I think for us to continue to build off of, and for him to have a game going into the level of competition we're about to go into. I think for him to have a quality game is going to be something he can really build off of.
And talk about your defense too. I know that didn't always go exactly how you want to, but they seem to really step up in the big situations when you really needed them.
Yeah, no, it did. We made some mistakes that we haven't made so far defensively. and some coverage issues, but it's really some tackling issues that we haven't had in 2 games. Yeah, again, a lot of credit to Jeremy and their staff and scheme stuff that they were doing is really high quality. So for us, we just got to improve that stuff. We gave up 2 scores we feel like in the first half that we got to be better about, or second half rather, that we got to be better about. And I think there was this 2 mistakes that we got to do better on communicating and be in the right spot. So, but we had some really bright spots. Mike Foster, as defensive end number 32, had a phenomenal year. He had 12 tackles. He had a PBU. He had a forced fumble. He was playing really well at defensive end. And then Amarion Davis, one of our captains, the senior captain, also had a touchdown, rushing touchdown. He had 14 tackles. He had one PBU, and then also fumble recovery. So he continues just to have a phenomenal year and play really well. And those are guys defensively we can continue to lean on.
And you talked about the special teams with the returned touchdown, but I know you hang on those special teams. I know you're disappointed that you had a couple blocks in there. Talk about your special teams.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple misses. We had a miss on a field goal. One of our offensive linemen's glasses fell off right in the middle of the field goal, so he missed. He couldn't see what was going on because he really needs the glasses, so he gave up a block. Then it's put us in a numerical position. We went for 2, didn't get that. We didn't have to go back for 2 again. Then we go to kick again with another kicker and missed that one. And then we finally, kind of closed the door at the very end with our regular kicker. It just, we got to be better. I got to be better as a coach at just putting more situational opportunities in for players when we have backups in to know what to do. That's kind of some of that stuff's on me. And we have a block punt, which we haven't given up all year. It's actually been a long time since we give a block punt. It just one small little thing about eye discipline just put us in the wrong spot and gave them an opportunity. So those are all things that we got to continue to build off of and get better at. Regardless of the good things that we did, there's some bad things we got to clean up.
And I was just going to say that, yeah, one of the notable things, you got some things that you can still coach them. It's not like they're messing up because they're not putting forth the effort. There's some things that you guys can do to get better. How's a game like that show that and help you guys, moving forward?
Yeah, those things are easier to see when you win, right? When you lose, those things are a little bit harder to see. So I think for our guys, there are things that we can continue to coach. I think our guys have a really good understanding of just the need to get better and what the purpose of these non-region games are. So, we want to continue to lean on that, and as we continue to work to get better.
And now going into that, you have a bye week coming up, no game this Friday, but you guys are still working for 2 weeks from here. So how does this week help you in cleaning up some of those things?
Just working as operational things, trying to clean up just the understanding of what to do, and winning situation football is a big part of it. And knowing situation football, gives us a little bit of a head start on prep for next week, but also a chance just to get some guys healthy, to pull back a little bit. Typically you don't like having a bye week this early, but I think it's really good because we got a really hard run. I think it's good to be able to ramp up a little bit physically after three physical tough games, to ramp up before we get ready to go to our region and start off with Marvin Ridge.
All right, Coach. Well, I want to thank you again for being on. We'll talk again next week. Won't quite have as much since you won't have a game, but we'll find some things that we can talk about next week, and I guess have fun watching some other football on Friday night.
Absolutely. Thanks, Troy.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks.